press record. So Ian, you are all good to go.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. As Sam said, I'm Ian Danforth. I'm the Business Development Coordinator with the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board. I have been mostly working on our loan programs, but we have now added this program because we thought there's definitely a need in the 5-county region in which we represent. And so this is through some grant funding we received, some assistance through some of the counties of our 5-county region to support this funding. So after getting that funding, we then contracted with RevBee LLC. And we have Michael here, who's the founder and CEO, who will be working with you if you were to be awarded this technical assistance. Michael, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction. Great to meet everyone here. And if you're watching the recording today, it's being recorded on Halloween, so happy Halloween for everyone joining live. We're very excited to be part of this program, to be supporting small businesses in the Lake Champlain, Lake George region. I'm also here with Kristen, our Manager of Consulting Services and Operations. Together, we'll be leading the efforts along with our team members. We have a great team that are very great and specialized in different areas of small business support, from strategy to marketing to operations to website development. And we'll see in the presentation a few of those examples. We just wanted to have the kind of a warm introduction to the group here. I'm really excited to get started.
Thank you, Michael. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen. Right. Let's see here if I can just move that away. All right, can everybody see my screen all right?
Looks good, Ian.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sam. All right. So as Michael said, it is Halloween, so I had to add in a kind of festive here thing, and obviously matching Michael's background of his jack-o'-lanterns there. Moving on to our, we already did our introductions, but this is all of us here today that will be working with you. And kind of discussing our program and then the services that RevBee would be providing. So moving on to the kind of precipice of this whole program, we kind of thought of it in a few kind of generalized goals. And the idea is that if we're able to provide this type of technical assistance, we would increase the business resiliency with small businesses in our region, which we find that to be very important because we do have so many small businesses within our 5-county region. Additionally, we believe that having these programs available to small businesses, we would then increase the amount of retention of employees and create more jobs in our region. And similarly, we also want to try to create small businesses within our region. That's why when you'll see later on, we're going to have 2 different types of applications. We're going to have your small business startups, and then there's one for existing businesses as well, because I think we're looking them at a little bit different viewpoints, and we want to make sure we hit both types of businesses. And then lastly, I think this is one that's very much significant in the region, and something I've learned throughout my small business office hours program is that there's a lot of businesses in our region that are looking to retire or sell their business to the next generation. And some of these businesses are staples within many of our communities. So we find that this could be a very good use of these funds to maybe find ways for existing retirement era businesses to be able to find new ownership and continue on prospering businesses within many of our communities. All right, so as I said, who's this program designed for? It's going to be designed for our startup businesses. As you see, there's a little bit of a caveat here. What we mean by this is we want to make sure that your business has the funding underway or secured to actually operate. And so we want to make sure that when we're providing you these types of funds, that is actually going to result in success for you as the business owner. And some of these things that we were thinking about that we'd be able to provide, and this is very limited list, and I know Michael has on his slides even more extensive list of these types of services that RevB can provide. But some of the things we're thinking about is cash flow management, staff management, marketing, advertising, and business plans, especially in the beginning, because sometimes people, I don't know where to go with a business plan. I hear it all the time. And so we want to make sure that we can provide these types of services to either finalize a little bit of your funding source, or making sure that you have a business plan as you go. Because as some business owners say, I update my business plan yearly. Sometimes people do it biannually. They do it even quarterly. So the type of things that RevB could help with is that type of processing with business plans. And for existing businesses, we want to also support them in future planning for things like expansion, transition planning, as I mentioned, and even just long-term planning in general. All right, so now we're going to get to the eligibility of the program. And so there is some caveats here. Obviously, we want to be within the 5-county region in which the Lake Champlain Lake George Regional Planning Board represents, which is Clinton, Essex, Hamilton, Warren, and Washington counties. As I stated previously, we have startup business must have financing secured or underway. And this is confirmed by the funding source. So when you fill out the application, we'll be doing an application together in this webinar. So I will go over that when we get to it. But what we'll do is we'll be confirming with that funding source that there is funding either close to being finalized or already finalized. So that's how we'll be confirming that. Ability to provide a current certificate of good standing, if applicable, not a publicly traded company, i.e. no franchises like McDonald's or Wendy's, and it's independently owned with less than 25 employees. All right, so now we have the 2 different applications. These 2 applications can be found on our website. If you look at the top part of our website, there's the Small Business Assistance tab, and if you click on that, you'll have the tab for our business loans, and then you'll have the tab for the SBTA program. You'll see the same thing. You'll have all of the eligibility, and you'll also see the 2 types of applications, which is your startup and your existing. So we're going to click on the startup business application. Can everybody see this?
Not quite, Ian.
What?
Not quite.
No? Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go. I'm going to do new share, and we're going to go here. Share.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. So this eligibility is here again. And by certifying this, is all it is for me is a quick little checkbox. So that's easy. Now we're going to move on to the next. This application should not take you very long to complete, especially if you've filled out any type of application before. It's a lot of basic information and then just some information about why this technical assistance would be important to you. So what we're going to do, we're going to use one of my cats. His name is Winston. So we're going to do Winston's Treats. The contact person will be Winston Danforth. Phone number, use our work email or work cell number here. I'll use my cell. So that gets you that. Business, One Cat Way, George, Y, and then your email address. The reason why I'm filling this out is because all of this information is required by our application. So if there's some reason why you can't figure something out or you don't have something, you can write none in there, just so you can complete the application. And then what I'll do is when I receive your application, I'll most likely be emailing you with follow-up questions. So then you actually have an option here. So a lot of it will just say it's retail, but we do have this other where you can actually type in information if you don't fall into some of the categories that we provided. Oh, got a number. Oh, come on. It's the dash that's there it goes. Yep. All right. So for this case, Winston does have an EIN number. And then he is an LLC. And then the same thing here is does your current business certification as a DBA, doing business as filed with your local government office, your county, city, or town. This is an active business entity with New York State. So we're going to say no. So this is the question that I was talking about. For the startup application, we do require that financing or funding has been substantially obtained to operate your business. So what we'll do is we'll say yes. And what will happen is it will bring me to another page. So who is my soon to be lender? So Winston actually got a loan through the regional planning board. So I'm just going to do like this. And so what will happen is even if you receive a commitment letter from even one of our partners who would be a community lender, you can put them in there. You can put a local bank. You can put whoever you've received funding in there from, so then we can confirm that is the case. All right, so this is the name of owners, officers, directors, or partners. And so for this case, Winston is the founder and CEO, and he is 90%. And I am the remaining 10%. So that's how that would look in this. And does he have any employees? Nope, it is just us two. And they would be full-time. But you can add in full-time, part-time, or if they're contractors, please just indicate that just so we have that as for a record. It's not only helpful for us, but it's going to be helpful for RevB if we approve your application, so they have a background of what your business is like. Oh, let's see. It's the dash that's having an issue with. All right. So then for business, for the type of assistance that Winston is going to be selecting, you can pick up to 3. If there's something not on here, you're more than welcome to add it. Just make sure when we get down to this question about adding in the type of assistance that you explain what it is and why it's important to you. So let's see if he's going to go for budgeting and cash flow. He's going to go for a business plan and advertising and marketing. So I had wrote in an example here, which I'm just going to copy paste to make it simple. But this is the type of thing that I am looking for. I would like to see at least 2 to 5 sentences just explaining. There is a character limit, but it's like 350 characters, so you should have plenty of room. And if you don't, just reach out to me, and I can take that answer over email if it's too restrictive for you. So please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be at the end of the slides, and there's our info at lclg.rpb.org that you can also submit questions. And so one goal would be manage cash flows effectively. To result in profitable outcomes or something along those lines. It doesn't need to be crazy long, but the idea is that we want to see this one really filled out. But again, this would really kind of indicate what your kind of high goal is. So when we get to working with the consultants at RevB, they'll actually be able to kind of focus and drive on the things that matter to you most. And then as you'll see here, what's your availability to participate in this program? So let's see. So Winston's available from say 2 to 5 p.m. Every weekday. What you can do also in here is you can indicate, say maybe you're not ready necessarily in the next month, but you can say, hey, I'm ready starting in February. Because these will be rolling applications, we can actually integrate them throughout the whole program. So that's why we want to have that in there, so we can not only make sure that we're budgeting our time effectively, but we are making sure that we can fit within your schedule, which is very important to us. And then what is your access to internet computer? Because the assistance that will be provided by RevB will be all virtually provided. And if you have an issue with any type of internet or anything, please let us know, because that is another important thing to us. Yes, I will add that in there. And I believe that is it. You hit submit. And that's it. And so what will happen is, stop my share. And then go back to my slides. But what will happen is, after that, I will get an email that will be highlighting the things that you've said in the application. And what I'll do is once I have reviewed it, I will most likely reach out to you for any follow-up questions that I may have, or if I need some more information from you. And once I have that, I will then let you know if you've been approved, and then we will be passing you off, as I am passing the slides off to RevB to then start working with you on your technical assistance needs that you highlighted in your application.
Thanks, Ian. So the slide you're seeing here now gives just an overview of the various areas, as you had seen also in the application, where we can help. These are just different subject matter areas. They're kind of broad and high level. One thing we do find in working with small business owners is sometimes they have some ideas of where they probably need help, but exactly what is the right thing to focus on for their ultimate objective is maybe uncertain, and that's quite okay. If you don't mind going to the next slide, I'll share just briefly what you can expect in working with RevB. The first step after the application approval process is an introduction call. And this is really the time for us to get to know you a bit more, even kind of just hear about, you know, what is the current experience in running your business right now? Why did you start this business? What's the inspiration and just the emotions behind it? We can talk through what are your pain points. It's really helpful to know it kind of in advance some of the areas where you suspect you would need help, but we would have conversation to identify what is a good, concise scope to really focus on. And from our perspective, what would be a good use of time and what is more likely to produce a good outcome. And I think that's really one of the main goals here, is that the work we do together does produce a favorable outcome, that there's something you can measure that's a benefit in your business in one way or another. Also, what to expect is that we will schedule out several Zoom sessions. We're very mindful that you are all very busy. You know, you are also in the work while also leading the business. So we'll be very, just very conscious of that in how we schedule. We can decide together how many Zoom calls will be appropriate for the scope that we develop. Some business owners really like to be collaborative and really learn, and others, you know, they want to have some input, but then really rely on us doing the work behind the scenes. No matter what, we will be doing a lot of the work behind the scenes. So don't worry that you'll have to be available for 50 calls or anything like that. We will make sure we set it up appropriately. I would anticipate a timeline of about 8 to 12 weeks, but this does vary. depending on the type of scope that we develop. So again, during that introduction call, we will figure that out together. We will create materials that will deliver to you through a secure Dropbox folder. And this material might be, maybe it's a marketing plan or a business plan, or maybe it's some review of recommendations of your online presence, whatever that might be. We will collect that material for you. So then after we leave the picture, you still have material that you can reference ongoing. We do hope that this is a benefit that will last even after the project is complete. We always love open communication and feedback throughout the project. So if you ever have a question or unsure of anything through the process, our team are always happy to hear from you and kind of work through any questions. That's no problem at all. But that's sort of a quick overview of what to expect. And we're so excited to get started helping small businesses and your businesses here that are on the call.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. And as someone that's been working with Michael and his team for the past few months, they are very, very responsive. So whenever you have a question, I'm sure as soon as they send it, they'll see it and recognize it and get back to you as soon as they can. They have been nothing but very helpful with us through this whole program. So I thank them for their assistance to us in this initial onset of the program, and I hope they are very much of assistance to the business owners in our region. So I think that is it. We can now open up the floor to questions. I do have all my information here on the slides. My office number is the 668-5773 extension 282, and then I also have a work cell. Feel free to call either one. If you're more comfortable with emailing, you can email me. If you want to text on my work cell, just let me know who you are, and I can be more than happy to text with you anything regarding this program or anything else the Regional Planning Board does.
Great, Ian, thank you. So we have some time for any questions if anybody would like to ask. The chat box is a little confusing to get to, at least on my Zoom nowadays. It's under more, the button, the 3 buttons and more. You can go to chat. At the moment, I don't see anything. If anybody would like to unmute themselves, ask away, we'll give it a moment or two for any questions.
Hi, I have a question.
Go ahead.
How familiar are you with the certification? So like, I'm a woman-owned business, so the WBE application is pretty arduous. Do you have recommendations for that? Like, is that something that you would be able to help with?
Michael, have you done work with WBE certifications in New York?
So we've gone through our own MBE certification process in New York State, and yes, it is arduous. I can think of some other words as well. So that is something that we're familiar with and we can walk through. And if that could be part of, what we would be curious about is, what are your goals? What are your ideas of how to use that certification? What types of contracts are you, kind of after and wanting to kind of grow within your customer set? So that could be integrated with kind of some strategy work as well. But yes, we are familiar with that process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so if Amy, when you go to the application, feel free to put that in the other line if that's something you're interested in. Any other questions? Not hearing any, Sam. I'm not seeing any chat on my end either.
Nor am I.
So
yeah, so if nobody else has any questions, sorry for cutting you off, Ian. Ian's information is there, and you can always ask him. He'll be very responsive, get right back to you. Like I said, all of this is recorded, and the slides as well as this recording will be posted online if you want to go back and view how to fill out the application or anything like that, or just need the contact information. But with that, I think we are all set. Ian, do you have any final thoughts or comments?
Nothing really on my end, other than I look forward to seeing your applications and then making that initial contact with you all so we can start providing some of this technical assistance for a region.
Great. Thank you very much. And again, please reach out if anything comes to mind or you need any help. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.